Okay, we're live, hopefully. Hey everyone. Yeah, the camera is there, by the way.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Good to
welcome.
know.
Yeah, welcome to the Top Drive Show November Q&A live stream. So, there's a lot to talk about, but before we even begin, guys, if you're reading the chat, let us know if you can see us and hear us clearly. This is the most important thing, obviously. Today I am joined by Maria, who is a product. I'm Dimitri, by the way, community manager for Top Drives. If someone doesn't know, but this is Maria. She's a product manager for Top Drives. I think you've been with us for some time now.
About 8 months.
8 months, yeah. And then she kindly expressed her desire to help me with the live stream, as I think this will be pretty much the first time we actually have a fully involved member of the Top Drives team on a live stream with us today. And we, as usual, have picked a bunch of questions from Katie Play and Discord, so thanks to everyone who sent those to us. As you can see, we are indeed in the office today. I think it's also the first time we're streaming from the office, which is great. There's a lot of equipment in here. So, yeah, hey everyone joining. Hi, TD Racer, hi Horse Company, hi Bukic, hi Duarte Maros. Yeah, everyone, make sure you say hi. Maria, if it helps, I can bring laptop a bit closer because the YouTube comments don't seem to be reflecting on that screen. If that makes any difference.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You can just, if there are questions that pop up.
Yeah. So guys, we'll have our questions that we have prepared in advance. But if there's anything you want to ask, you just put it in the chat, and we'll be looking at the Facebook comments and YouTube comments as well. So yeah, looking forward. So yeah, just to sort of give you a recap of all the things that are happening in the game right now and are about to happen. So obviously we've released the 14.3 update recently, 2 days ago I think it was. We had hotfix a couple of small things, but as far as I'm aware, we're already force updating the update now, so that's quite cool. We've brought a couple of features in that are quite fun, including the wish list that some of you guys have been. I think it was one of those things that you've been sort of, I guess, quite involved in developing.
It was my first feature when I joined the team.
Exactly.
So we went lean. I have been reading all of the feedback, so thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, guys. We are trying to get more feedback from you in terms of quality of life and not only. And I think with Maria on board, we've seen some good progress recently, I would say. So we've released that. There were a couple other smaller things like the fuse skipping time, which is now you spend less gold if you have less time left in the fuse, which is great, and a couple of bug fixes here and there. We obviously are working on several updates and other things going forward. A few things as well. Obviously everyone knows about the Lamborghini Veneno, which is our next GT series prize car. We have just announced it basically. So the Tri-Series will be, GT Series will be starting today. Obviously the first part is we have these events, and then we have challenges starting later. So you earn the tokens in the events, and then you use those to unlock the challenges and progress there. And one of the challenges awards you that ultimate prize car, which is obviously a very nice one. But as always, these are quite challenging and difficult. So yeah, we're mixing up a little bit between the GT series and the Tri-Series there. What else? We have obviously we have the Black Friday coming up. We haven't really spoken about it too much, but it should be going live quite soon with some really nice offers for everyone to enjoy. I know many people have been saving up for a while now, so this is your opportunity, I suppose. And yeah, looking forward to those. I had something in my mind.
The challenges in the match screen. It shows the rung now, so it was a player request.
Oh,
when
right.
you're playing the challenges, that when you're sharing screenshots to pull from the community, you had to write the round number. So we included that number now.
That's quite interesting, yeah, as well. So there are a lot of smaller things here that are being added, and if you have a look at the roadmap that we've published in October, we've actually already crossed out a couple of things from there by now, including the the flexible packs, the fuse skip over time, wish list. So these things are coming up. So all of these features were on the sort of the break-in distance plan, so it will keep coming. So yeah, I think it was a pretty good idea to publish that, and I think we can give updates to such roadmap a bit more often. Well, more often than, let's say, once a year or twice a year. I think maybe I think I would probably aim for like quarterly if there's enough info. It's just a nice format. Doesn't mean that we always sort of give you exactly, what is gonna happen. Well, we might just give you a plan. That's what has been done, and that's what we're working on next. Like, simple as that. It can be quite descriptive, but it's just that it frees a little bit of I guess, responsibility from our own team. They don't have to focus too much on the things mentioned in the roadmap. They can change things around, and that gives them a little bit of flexibility. Okay, so we have let's jump into the questions section. Really, I mean, you guys are gonna see it on the screen in a second. So I've put all the questions in a different spreadsheet, basically, and so they're all on the screen. If it's a bit hard to read, I can just do this, and you should be able to see it. So we have 5 main questions that come from our audience on Katie. I think 3 of them come from Katie Play and 2 from Discord. So as always, those who have been chosen for those 5 will get a free carbon fiber pack on their account. So good thing that you send those questions to us. Obviously, there were a lot of questions. Many of them are feature requests, which are for us are sometimes a bit difficult to answer. We do prefer for questions, specifically those questions that sort of talk about upcoming things, roadmaps, and general plans or thoughts, rather than can you add this or that. Sometimes we can go into discussions, but they're a bit more challenging to answer. So our first question comes from user Full Child, who's also a mod on Katie Play. So thank you very much for sending this question to us. The question is as such. So could you give us a rundown of the new tags, please? What is the story behind them, and how do you choose which cars get the tag? I think it's an interesting question, because obviously in the 14.3 we've added 2 new tags, as you might have noticed, the two-tone and horror show, and many of you have been guessing what are these for. There are, but I think most of you get the idea now that we've had a couple of those tags added previously. I don't know if we want to go too much into specifically talking about what are these. What game events these will be related to, but the question is more like about give us a rundown of the story behind them. I guess it would be interesting to know, how do we choose those, if that's something you can help with, Maria, or
I'm fine to answer that. So Silver Screen is a tag we've already had in the game. We picked cars that appear in movies, sometimes TV series or music videos if they're really, really popular. In terms of the horror show, the designer that was selecting the cars, she was thinking about cars that aren't usually noticed by people, either because they look a bit different, or there's something peculiar about them. We just start out with a concept beforehand. There isn't much of a plan about something specific we want to target, and we just think of an idea we think people will enjoy, and we'll give out a good set of cars. So that was the horror show. In terms of the two-tone, well, it's cars that have 2 colors.
Pretty straightforward, yeah. But yeah, I mean, there are lots of themes that we can have. Obviously, we have to choose the ones that we feel are the most compelling based on the cars that we have in the game. So, and also the choice of cars themselves. They have to be they have to make sense to be competitive. So I think, I don't even remember which was the biggest in terms of number of cars. Which was the biggest tag that we've had? Must have been Summer Games.
Summer Games so far, yeah. Call of the Wild 2 had 100, and then Summer Games had 150. But there's part of the question is, would we run a forum competition to choose the next tag? I don't know to make the final decision, because we come up with a lot of concepts. So we usually start with a pool of concepts, and then we start looking through the cars we have in the game, and we always try to find like a good number of cars to make the content interesting. So yeah, I think it would be nice to get suggestions for different tags that we can get that you think would make a good set of cars, and then we'll take that into consideration when we go and look at the cars to make a final decision.
Yeah, I guess it would be a bit like we can probably look for a theme, but not specifically for the cars, because they are designed with certain ideas in mind and goals. So themes are always good, but specific cars are a slightly different thing. But we appreciate that people actually want to give us those ideas. That's really great. Free CF, no free CFs today, unfortunately. No, not from us. So next question is from Bokito. Is there a possibility to add an extra "Are you sure you want to buy" pop-up when you want to buy a pack or with extra tickets? So I mean, yeah, this is one feature that I've seen mentioned so many times in the Kitty Play thread. I think I've seen at least 5 or 6 posts. So it's definitely like with every Q&A live stream, you always have like one theme which is like mentioned the most, and this one crept up the most. Like previously, we would have something like, when's the next championship coming? When's the next championship coming? And then we're telling that we were working on one, and now this is the new sort of theme, I guess. I don't know, from the product standpoint, I think we, to a certain extent, we kind of have it sorted out already, in the sense that you have to press twice to get to buy the pack. And I've seen some players saying they've accidentally opened the pack while they had the game open. They put the phone in the pocket while chasing a puppy. So we can't really, there's only so many safeguards we can put in there. But we have sort of, I guess, talked to the rest of the team to see whether they've had a similar experience. And I mean, some people definitely said that they occasionally buy these packs. I don't know. What do you think, Maria? Is that something that we could have on a list, I guess? I mean, the list is pretty long, right? So we have to prioritize. Would that be somewhere on the top of the priorities, or not necessarily?
Well, first I want to say that chasing a puppy is really cute.
Yeah.
So that is a good use case. It is something that we've definitely noted that the community is talking about. We haven't ignored the comments and the feedback that you've been giving us. I do play the game quite a lot, so I can empathize when you're saying that you're experiencing this. I do feel it as well when I'm playing the game. For this particular situation, so I think in some situations the mistaken purchases are happening for other reasons, where like this solution to always add an additional pop-up, like adding a third step when you want to make a purchase, it probably isn't the best solution. So we're looking at ways to solve this without adding that third step. I can't tell you right now what they are, because we're still exploring what we could do, but yeah, it's definitely on our minds and something that we do want to improve. We're just exploring solutions at the moment.
Yeah, I think another thing to keep in mind is that there are certain situations in the game where you do want to be able to press those buttons quickly, like when you're buying tickets, for example, in the end of the events. I don't think you want any more sort of safeguards over there if you want to do that fairly quickly. But yeah, as Maria said, this is something we're looking into. But it's probably not going to be as straightforward as some might imagine. Just slap another button in there. It probably has to be thought a little bit differently. So when will be the next update? Silent Husks on YouTube. It's we're working on a series of updates, actually. If we're talking about big car updates, not just one, but I think we have at least 3 in mind. As always, we're not giving the exact dates, but yeah, we're working on them. Don't worry. We want them as much as you do, and it actually feels like it's been, I don't know, it's such a strange feeling, because it's been like 3 months since we've released Japan Pro Tour. Yeah.
Has it really been?
Yeah, almost 3 months now. Yeah, in fact, yeah, just maybe 1 week short. Yeah. But before that, we've had almost like 8 or 9 months without a major update. So yeah, it feels like it almost feels like it could be the time, but we cannot really say. So it depends on many factors in play, and we obviously hope to bring that as soon as possible, but we cannot really guarantee anything at this point in time. So that's a great question from Bokito. And next question from Nico. Again, this is all about adding cars into the game. So the question is, how do you determine which car you want to add in an update based on the cars that players suggested? For instance, why do we have so many similar cars in the last update, especially in the Impreza garage range? GCs, version 2, version 3, multiple WRXs from GZ Gen, and lots of VA models, and etc. etc. So yeah, I mean, we recognize there have been a lot of kind of similar cars in that update, but I guess the main answer, like the most generic answer to this, is that we would rather add them than not add them. So if we have licenses for them available to us, and licensing can be a bit challenging with mobile games and video games in general, and racing games. So if we have an opportunity to add them, we would rather do that than not do that, because it might feel a bit like there's a lot of similar cars now. Move forward like 2-3 years and we have another 2,000-3,000 cars, for example, and that it wouldn't feel as less diverse as now, I suppose, because you will just have a much bigger choice of cars, and this will be players with time, they will be finding uses for all of these cars. So I guess this is more like a more general question. I don't know if you have much to add to that, really, Maria, from your point of view.
You gave most of the details about the licensing pipeline.
So yeah, we would rather add more cars than not add them for no reason, because more cars is always better. And though I do appreciate it, might feel they're a bit similar to each other.
Oh, there is actually maybe a detail I can add for the cars that players suggested. Yeah, so when you make a suggestion, we do have a process internally to take the suggestions, create car lists. So we essentially create a list of cars that are desirable and we would like to have in the game, to then make the suggestion to licensing. So that's how we do take into consideration what you share with us. As Dimitri explained, not everything that we would like to have in the game we can get through. So then we have to make decisions based on what we were able to license for that time.
Yeah. I wanted to mention, we briefly talked about Black Friday assets. I just need to get it out there. Yeah. They will go live tonight. So yeah, you can look forward to those. I've got a confirmation, and obviously we will let you know as well on our social channels and forums and within the game as well. So you don't have to wait too long, just a few hours.
I think the wait will be worth it. I think the wait will be worth it.
Yeah.
It's good content.
Yeah. I had something else in my mind, but now I forgot completely. Like something very important, but I forgot that people. Anyway, let's jump into our next question. And thanks, Nico, for saying that to us. I think, Nico, you've done a great job with this question, because I think in the previous 3 or 4 Q&As, Nico would always send the same exact question. This one is different, so he made it through. Yeah. So next question comes from Sir Didymus from Discord, and I apologize. I don't know. Maybe he's Lithuanian. I think to me it sounds like a Lithuanian name. Anyway, question for Q&A from Q&A. What are the long-term plans for the future of Top Drives? Have you ever discussed adding a totally new gameplay mode? And I guess we're kind of switching between these a bit more specific questions to this big one, very, very general one. But if you haven't seen our roadmap that we've published in October, so in last month, we actually give a pretty good rundown of the long-term plans for the future of Top Drives, including the features that are on our radar. And the number one thing I would suggest is just have a look at it. You can find it on our website. I think I cannot really access links too easily here, but if you are able to find it, you can find it on KDPlay, on Discord. It's pretty much everywhere, and it gives as much of a detailed rundown of the things we're working on as we really can give at the moment. Long-term plans, as we sometimes have to go back on those live streams and reiterate that the game is not going anywhere. It's we're absolutely working on it, and we're always hiring. We're improving our processes, and we see a lot of future in this game. So if you don't want to go away, you shouldn't, because there's a lot to be looking forward to. A new gameplay mode, I think, like I'll be a bit speculating in the moment. We're not really working on any gameplay modes, but I think we do want to sort of improve some of the game modes that we have at the moment. We've been bringing quite a bit new stuff to challenges, and there have been quite a bit of quality of life improvements from, not just flexible packs, but the odds shown displayed properly. That's quite we've spent quite a lot of time working on those. So there's a lot. There's quite a bit of catching up to do, I suppose, in terms of bringing those quality of life features. New gameplay mode is probably some time away, because there is still some work to be done on the existing gameplay mode. So I don't know if you want to add something to that, Maria. It's a pretty there's quite a bit you can find in the roadmap. But yeah.
Well, I suppose the question is, have you ever discussed it? And we have discussed it. I don't like Dimitri said. We shared with you the longer term roadmap. It is on the back of our minds continuously. There's thoughts thinking, we know that Top Tribes is going to continue to exist for many years from now, and so we're also thinking very long term. What will come next to the games? We have, I think, a very good understanding, as we showed through the roadmap, of what we think will come next. But like in those kinds of updates, we don't share maybe the more future long-term plans that we're thinking about. But yeah, we have discussed it.
Yeah, that's great. And we have some questions coming up on Facebook as well that I want to address. I mean, obviously there are certain things that players ask about from us quite often, and we never really spend too much time talking about those things. For example, are we looking at the trophies system? Are we working on the next campaign? So we usually talk about the things that we have in mind already. In terms of campaign, there are no new campaign as far as I'm aware that's coming up anytime soon. But as shared in the roadmap, we are working on the new championship. And I think we have more than one championship actually planned, but they take time to design and test, because they will, unlike challenges or collections, they will stay there until the game is over, pretty much, until the end of time. So they have to be completely fleshed out. So they do take a lot of time, not only to design, but to test and make sure they work properly. So next championship is definitely coming out. I think. I don't want to. I cannot say exactly when it's coming, but it's it's heavily in development. I don't know how else to say it. It's heavily in development.
It's designed. It's being tested.
Yeah.
So it's very chunky work, if that's the way to describe it. Cause we do the design, and then it still needs to be imported. The data, it needs to be tested. The UI needs to be tested. So there's a lot of testing going on back and forward.
For sure.
I'm not sure when it will be released, but we're in that phase right now.
Yeah, but we're as excited about that as you guys are.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of questions about adding new filters, for example. Everything is on the list. To put it mildly, lists are endless. Is Livestream going fine at the moment? Are we stuck? No, we're not stuck. Okay, thank God. There's lots of things that are happening, and lots of features we know about. There's a lot comes down to prioritization, and Maria, you're very much involved in that, and there are thousands of items to be prioritized, really. Various scale, from minor features to bigger features, and like whenever I look at these, sometimes something that might seem pretty simple takes actually a lot of time to develop. Even the wishlist itself, it took a few good months, of work, not only to think about the general ideas for the feature, but also create all the art and test it and how it's going to work in certain situations. Think through the whole scope for it. Where is it going to be used, and there are so many things that go into designing these features. And there's always more features that we want than those that we can focus on. So, but yeah, we have quite a few things going on. Next question, we will go into our final question of the main section, from Piston Popper from Discord as well. So, is there any focus on significantly improving the single player experience? I regularly find long periods of having nothing to do in the game, either because I have no tickets for events, or I'm comfortable with my position. I've already finished the campaigns, and challenges and clubs seem to be just used for grinding for rewards more than an enjoyable aspect of the game. We have been working on improving the single player experience for pretty much all of this year, I think, with the introduction of support for multiple challenges in the beginning of the year. That's pure single player experience. So I appreciate the fact that there might not be always a challenge running for you, but quite often there are multiple challenges running at the same time. Going back throughout pretty much the whole history of top drives before early this year, we would only have one challenge per week, and it wouldn't be it's great that we've had it, but now we have way more, to be honest. So, and in addition to that, as we mentioned, and we're working on the next championship, so that's also single player experience. So like I said, I appreciate that there might be times when there's nothing going on for a few days sometimes, but there's always something being designed, from smaller scale to large scale challenges and single player events. And roadmap also mentions multiple collections that we're working on, not just championships, collections. And we've added new tags, so that's also single player experience. So I mean, I guess it's a question of perspective to a certain extent, but we've been focusing a lot on single player experience this year. So yeah, I think from Maria's silence, I think I've answered this question sufficiently. But I hope you guys are happy with these answers, actually. So are there any parts that we have missed here? No,
I think the only thing that Piston Pop, this is a fun game trying to understand how to say the names, says that clubs seem to be just used for grinding for rewards more than an enjoyable aspect of the game. And yeah, I just want to say we hear you. I think this has been solid feedback we've had all around from the community, so we are thinking about it. Again, I don't know when we'll be able to tackle it, but it is on our minds. So thank you for sharing that feedback with us over time.
Mm-hmm. Fully agree. So let's go into the. Actually, probably most people didn't see that question because it was hidden. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate.
Oh gosh, I'm rolling.
Yeah. It happens. We're going into the sort of second part where we have a bunch of sort of secondary questions. I wouldn't call them secondary. Many of them are as important and interesting for us, but we always have to make a bit of a choice, right? So the first question is from user called Infinity, for Frank there from Katie Play. So cars like the Volvo Polestar, now known as the Concept Coupe, have been renamed, or a new picture gets used. So why do you guys need to make changes like this? I think this relates to a specific car that has been changed in the 14.3 update. Without going into much detail, really, it's a licensing issue. That's as much as we can really say about this. So changing that car, or that car's image and name was related to licensing more than anything else. Do we have anything on Facebook? Let me just quickly have a look. Yes, obviously Ferraris, Toyotas, our regular appearances on our live streams. We have absolutely no updates on these at the moment, unfortunately. Yeah, the Mighty Boy is gonna be the king. Yeah, we all.
Mighty Boy is great.
Yeah, we kind of love that car as well.
Really like your meme for.
Yeah,
Mighty Boy.
yeah. I like the fact that it's crazy, but it's not super game breaking. Not
Yeah.
to the point where we have to like really go and oh my god, this car is absolutely insane. I think we've had a couple of those, like the Pescarolo, which rest in peace, basically. Next question from 1967 Baha Bug. Hello, if you are no longer going to use low tier cars for events, are you going to remove the price card tag from all of them? Yes, we've removed, as you know, price card tags from the Alfa Romeo manufacturer in 14.3 update, quietly. But this is something we've been aiming to do for a while, really, and main reason is because we have a better system for that now. We use in-game items as tokens, because those price cards, pretty much their main purpose was to be used as tokens. I imagine they were used as a template, I suppose, for until we develop a fully fledged feature. So now that we have it, it's there. We are now removing those price card tags from these cars. I think the intention is to remove all of them. I think so. No.
Yeah, we were doing it slowly. We didn't remove them all at once because we're still thinking about the possible ways that we could make some interesting content around them.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't want to just go 0 to 100 at once. Yeah, likely. Let's see. Could think of a good idea.
Yeah, I remember our players asking to run some events. We never were exactly sure how we want to use them moving forward, but I think at this point, now that we have a strong system to replace them, it's time for them to go. I think it's these price cards with these tags, the low tier ones. They're a bit of an indicator of how the game was, quite lean to begin with. So yeah, we're moving into more fully fledged features now. Next question from ID 529911891. Black Friday and Christmas is coming soon. Can you please let us know what offers we can expect to judge whether it makes sense again to save gold or don't spend it on random packages? We cannot say anything about Christmas because it's a bit early. As we know, all Christmas comes in July, but Black Friday, yeah, obviously we've mentioned that just a few minutes ago that this is coming up. I'm not going to go into detail of the exact offers. You will see them in store. All we can say is that yeah, they will be there tonight at 10 p.m. UTC. So yeah, they will be there. So Kevin Cray asks, are there any plans to revamp clubs? The requirements don't have some of the new tags like American Frontier, Japan Pro Tour. Also adding some of the newer tracks like test facility, military base, etc. would be nice. We've mentioned clubs just a moment ago with Maria. Mentioned them very briefly, but yeah, I mean, we're looking at that really, yeah, aren't we?
Yeah, now that we have more people on the design team, it is getting higher on the priority list. Of all of the things we could ever do with clubs to make the experience more fun, this will be where we start, so it's at the top. Yeah,
but there are the feedback has been great, and we are definitely, we recognize that clubs have been a bit overlooked. It's no mistake, but I know for sure that we have had some meetings about them. So Leandros on Facebook is asking, are the GT series will after the GT series will we have the collection series challenge? I cannot say exactly, but we've just recently added a new tag, and GT series for the new Lamborghini will be starting today, so you can get an idea roughly of what timeline there will be. But we're not going to promise anything because things change, and when exactly these things might go live remains to be determined. But you will see everything in the game client. There's no, make no mistake, you will see it in the game client. One interesting thing, will there be a way to see which tokens we hold, i.e. our keys? I don't know.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you do product, you know. I sometimes want to know these things myself. I think it has been mentioned a couple of times and recognized. There's probably a good, probably is a reason to have that in the game. So, but at the same time, I think that it wasn't the way it is going right now wasn't really planned to be the exact way it is going, in terms of, you know, you would never really need it to see those tokens, because you would just go to the challenge and see them, for example. I think that was the original plan, sort of. I think I'm going too deep a little bit here, but yeah, I think players have mentioned that a couple of times, and we certainly keep it in mind.
Yeah, we have had some discussions about it. I think what happens is we also listen to what customer support receives, and it seems like there are some problems that are all mixed into one. So, for example, when we have multiple content running at the same time that has different items, seems that sometimes players get confused what item they can use for different content. We also understand that when you don't have, for example, a challenge live where you can see how many you have, but the event is running, you don't really know how many you have until the challenge is live. So there are a few different aspects that we are considering about the whole usage of items, especially when there are more content simultaneously running that has these items. Yeah, it's something that we are thinking about. Yeah, it goes down to the priorities and what we're going to be working on first.
For sure. Next question from Slam Dunker. So, hi, do you have any plans to bring back the weekly challenges? This can be motivation even for newcomers to build up their garages and get some prizes during the week. Thank you. No, I don't think the weekly challenges in the same format that we used to have them will come back. By the way, we had a new challenge that started this morning, Collectors Club. So I think in terms of the prizes you're getting, it's pretty much exactly the same as the weekly challenges, because you get a ceramic at the end. I mean, there are probably some changes to it, but overall, I think the design direction is kind of similar between these Collectors Club's challenges and the weekly challenges that we used to have. But they're not coming back in the same format, no. Shall we iterate more on that one or move to the next one? From Spiker, have you been have you been thinking about adding new requirements for events and challenges? By that I mean adding weight, width, height, or maybe even color to requirements. I think it would be interesting to see an event where only cars above 2 tons would be allowed to enter. And actually, this is the first time I see a question like this. I think this is a really interesting question.
Yeah.
I don't think that we will have that. I think we will focus on, you know, the requirements that we have at the moment. But who knows? I think that's maybe you know, someone watching from the team right now actually. Oh my God, this is a great idea. But in terms of you know, colors, you can see a bit of a trend there with let's say collection series. You have different colors, you know, in the cars that we have in our collections. There of course there are challenges, not events, but still, you know, we sort of try to utilize this area as well, and not just necessarily like weight or width. We also look at sort of back history of cars that have been, you know, taken part in movies, silver screen, you know, jungle, like names that come from names of like animals with the Call of the Wild. So we're not just we're I guess we're looking at it, but from a slightly different perspective. But that you know, looking at weight, width, and height, I think that's quite an interesting suggestion.
Yeah, I think colors would be very difficult because when you click on the cards to see all of the detailed stats on the back of it, you won't see that color is the data on it. So that would be difficult to have a requirement that's color, because then you couldn't really select cars to through the filters, for example. But the other ones that the question mentions, I think now that we have flexible criteria and we also introduced the flexible packs, I can't say what will be coming, but we have more options available for us to design with. We'll have to wait and see what our designers come up with.
Yeah, great point. We have a lot of lots of questions coming up from YouTube. I'm not going to look at all of them, but there are some quite interesting ones. Jan is asking about the marketplace. I think we've talked about the marketplace in the previous live streams. That this is not something that we will probably ever design. That to be completely clear, will you release a free pack on Christmas? I mean, we usually do give some free packs around these dates, so I don't see why not. Do you plan to create tracks which are endurance races like Le Mans? Not. I mean, I guess Le Mans sounds to me like a license, so it's probably not something that is coming up anytime soon. And but I do know, like from different perspectives, that we're working on multiple new environments. Oh, that's the thing I wanted to mention. Some players have started noticing that we're seeing new environments, and I've had a couple of messages saying new 3D environments. Yes, they to be completely clear, yes, some of the new 3D environments, they went live as a test today for new players. So if you're a new player, you might see them, and I have seen at least 2 messages, players asking me like, what is going on? Is that a leak? What's happening? So I guess we don't want to like explicitly communicate that we're bringing those in, but players obviously are noticing. But yeah, we can confirm that these are new environments that went live for a test. Something again that was mentioned in the roadmap, and we will be bringing those, after test. We'll bring those into the game. We will update all of our existing environments with those new high fidelity, assets, and they will look amazing. And there's quite a lot of work going on into that, so we're actually quite excited about this. And I've seen a few screenshots; they do look pretty good. So I think to explain the reason why new players are getting them is because it helps us to understand better what works better. When we're comparing 2 players that have no experience with the game at all, and they, it's called user acquisition, I guess. This part of tests. So we have to see which parts or which environments basically perform better than the others, and new users are way better for us to understand this than existing players, because they are already playing the game. I guess that's a reasonable explanation from my side. Yeah, Welsh Boy UK76, smash that like button. Yes, absolutely, guys. Please give us a like and leave positive comments as well. No negative comments, thank you. Maria's been very, I think, forthcoming today and helpful, and I like the fact that you're not nervous at all. This is great. I don't know if you are or not, but believe me, I've streamed with many different people, and everyone's always very nervous.
I'm thinking about the cute puppy that was mentioned earlier. So.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, we get a lot of I believe me, I've had people nearly shaking, so it's good that you're feeling very comfortable. I feel good because I don't have to speak too much, although I have been speaking a lot, but not as much at least. And yeah, people don't really like when I speak, to be honest. They prefer someone else speaking, so that's fine. So next question, we have 2 more. Another quality of life from Alfred. When will you add a padlock sign on the front of a car when a car is locked in your garage? And I just want to stress, so many different quality of life features being suggested, and you need to recognize, guys, there's only so many people on the team and only so many man hours or woman hours we have to spend on that. So so we have to really prioritize very tightly what we're bringing in. But it's one of those, not holding pool but garage improvements that I think is important as well.
Yeah.
I like it. I like
it. It is on the list. It has been relatively, it has been prioritized relative to all of the other quality of life requests that we have. Interesting. I did some exploration on what that could look like, and actually the feedback like the overwhelming feedback that I received up to now is that it would be more useful to see what cars are unlocked, because for the majority of veteran players, they will lock their cars. So you just end up seeing a bunch of padlocks and the information wouldn't be as valuable. So yeah, having a way to see what's unlocked would be more useful. Now, if you don't agree with this, do let us know, because I am curious, because I'm getting these two feedback points. It'd be interesting to get more opinions on it.
Yeah, sounds great. And we have 2 more questions from the sheet, and maybe we'll spend a few minutes as well on the remaining questions from the chat as well. So please do not think that we're not paying attention. So yeah, I mean, actually, this kind of is repeating that next question from ASSD. Are there any plans for a sequel to the single-player campaign? We have Yellowbird, but a lot of players have already passed it. Maybe they can make a sequel with new tracks and prizes. I mean, yeah, I guess Yellowbird and campaign are slightly different things. Whereas Yellowbird is a championship and campaign is a campaign, and they pursue slightly different goals. Championships are for more advanced players, because you need to have renown points to be able to unlock rounds there, but campaign is available to everyone. So campaign is designed to give new players, mostly I think that's the idea, to give new players the resources to be able to proceed with playing, to get the garage stronger. So championship is a bit of a different thing, but yeah, I mean, championship is in development, but campaign, I mean, there might be some improvements, but as far as I'm aware, we're not making a new campaign anytime soon. And then last question, I'm really sorry, I forgot to note down the name of the person who asked the question, but the question is, why are pictures not in full HD in the game? I mean, the answer is pretty straightforward. We have over 3,000 cars in the game, almost 3,000, and each card has a certain size in kilobytes, and the higher fidelity the card is, the more massive the game becomes. So full HD cars would mean you would have to download gigabytes of the game, and it would be more difficult to run as well at the same time. So they have to be optimized really, really carefully. So that's why we don't really have the full HD specifically cars in the game at the moment.
We have very excellent engineers in QA, so
yeah,
I trust them. I trust them when they say that.
Yeah.
This probably shouldn't do this.
So we have that's the main section is done. I think we can switch back to the chat, and we can have a look at some of the YouTube comments that we have remaining here. So interesting one. This is I mean, we've brought this up a couple of times, but with the wish list, can you please give a reason why the current wish list is limited to 100 cars? Maybe you have an idea, Maria, of why is it specifically 100 cars?
Yeah, so as part of when we were refining the feature, so we have to have a limit for technical reasons. We were thinking we need to find a reasonable limit, and we decided to start conservative and see what the player feedback was going to be. We didn't fully understand all of the use cases that you would try to explore using the feature for, so it's really useful that you're trying to use it in your day-to-day, and let us know what you are indeed using it for. If 100 is not enough, it'd be really helpful if you gave us a number and explained why. That why will really help us understand the motivation behind it. So yeah, it's something that we can revisit if we understand that there is a number that's better suited for players and for our technology.
For sure. I really enjoy the wishlist because it's the art itself. It's kind of cool. I don't know, like the cards seem like unflexible to me to a certain extent, so having a new animation added to them, which is the first sort of animation we ever added to the game since cards launched, we can still do a lot of work and changes to the UI, so that's cool. But like Maria said, if you have ideas, make sure you express them. But you do, don't get me wrong, people do express their opinions. We like to hear them, but also understand for every player, experience is different, right? So we have to sort of bring features to a level where it is as applicable to as a wider range of players as possible. So what might be a normal experience for one player might be a bit of an edge case for another one. So we need to be really, really like narrow with what we're doing, or rather the other way around, not narrow, but we have to be as basically have as many use cases there.
So sorry, I remember there was one player who said they gave a really good example that they had wishlisted cars that they would like to get, but then they had used so many wishlist slots that they didn't have enough to wishlist cars they think would be important for the new tags. So like that why behind it was extremely helpful. So thank you.
Would it be possible to lock by default legendaries so it's impossible to misclick and sell it? Yes, it would be possible, but of course, but whether it's something that we really want to work on is a slightly different question, because not because we want you to sell your legendaries, absolutely not. We want you to keep them and enjoy them, but it's like we've mentioned a couple of times now, it has to be, we really have to think about various use cases for these features, and we have to prioritize as well. So it's just
I think something that would come way before that is we have a highly requested quality of life to add unlock from your holding pool to the garage. I see that happening earlier than this request, for example.
We have many questions coming up. Will it ever be possible to do tire changes, tire wear? I mean, it's a great idea, but I don't know. Like I've not really heard it being discussed as much. I think this is something that has to come from the initial design of the game. If the game is designed to have one set of tires per car. I mean, maybe we've mentioned in the roadmap special editions of cars. Who knows? Maybe those will have different tires, just as a wild idea. But at the moment, this is not something we're looking at right now. I use list. So Nintendo Dad. By the way, shout out Nintendo Dad. Nice Twitter post all the time with the game progress, pretty much every day. Love to see those. I used a wish list for all the cars with the new tags, which I don't have.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool to know.
I think that's one of the things people I mean, that's quite useful, isn't it, right? So you have these new tags, and then you don't have to look for the cars. Oh, is that, you don't even have to think about it. You just wishlist the cars that you want. And I think in the horror show tag we've got like 76 cars, if I'm not mistaken, so that's below 100. So yeah.
A feature that tells us whether we already own cars are in our holding. Yeah, that's the second highest priority request that's been coming through after add unlock for the holding pool. Again, like all of these need to be prioritized relative to the other quality of life, but in terms of the holding pool, it's quite high up there.
Yeah. So yeah, let's do one more.
I have to read all of these after. People are explaining how they use wishlists. I know. Are these saved? Or do these get saved after
the videos? Yeah, they will be published on YouTube. So
and the comments as well.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, sorry, this is my first stream, so
okay.
I am a noob.
Yeah, I think it goes really, really well.
Is there something higher up?
Yeah, let's have a look.
I feel we need some kind of elevator music right now.
And I'd be like, forgive me. Forgive me.
I can't see anything.
Yeah, well, if we cannot see anything, then that's it, guys. Thank you very much for coming in. Don't forget that the Black Friday offers are starting very, very soon tonight. Thank you for all the questions you guys have sent. We've been live for almost an hour. Does it feel like it's been an hour? I don't know.
Has it been an hour?
So yeah, it has.
Gosh.
Yeah,
it has.
Yeah, it has.
Oh, that's cool.
So Maria, are we expecting to see you in the next live stream? I think people will love it, to be honest.
If people enjoyed it.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for being forthcoming.
Thanks for being nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It makes the experience easier.
Yeah, guys, make sure to smash the like button, and leave a comment if you enjoyed this live stream, and we will be going live soon as well for other Q&A in the coming months as well. We'll have some top drive shows for us, and yeah, if you guys have any ideas for how we can, maybe bring a different sort of format to these Q&As, if you guys think we can improve them, maybe bring a completely different format for the top drive show, make sure to let us know. We'll try to follow your feedback. But yeah, without any more sort of hesitation, wishing you wishing you good luck in the GT series, and we will see you in the next episode of the Top Drive Show.
And happy Black Friday.
And happy Black Friday. And happy Thanksgiving as well, by the way.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, yeah.
Yeah, for the North American viewers. But yeah, guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. We'll see you soon. Bye bye. Switching off now.